RC.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of GGRC. I'm RC, and today we're going to be doing like a little vlog update here. I haven't done one in several months. I think probably the last one I did was October, and I didn't have great news then. I was taking a little break from the channel at the time, but I figured it was a good time to do one because it's been a while, and something big is going on with me. So by big, I don't mean like, you know, oh, as big as last year, like moving and, you know, getting remarried or getting divorced or anything. Nothing like that. Nothing crazy. Not even really bad news, to be quite honest. It's just a realization I've sort of come to in my life. Yeah, you know, I love gaming. Always have. Probably always will. It's been a big part of my life for a very long time, and it probably always will be a big part of my life. But the time has come to stop buying physical games, I think. Now, I know some of you are going to hear that and be like, what? What are you talking about? I collect all kinds of games. I love collecting games. I think I'm getting out of the whole collecting games thing. It's just doesn't really do much for me anymore, and part of the reason being is that, you know, within the past couple generations of games, you know, generations of systems rather, I think it's been like PS4 and Vita and now the Switch. There's a company called Limited Run Games, great company. They create really cool games or physical versions of games that otherwise wouldn't get them. And it's, you know, they only press so many thousands of them. There's again, very limited press run of games, right? And up until recently, I had been buying pretty much all of these for the Switch. I love my Nintendo Switch, played a lot, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have all these games to play whenever I want at this point, right? So recently, I came to the realization that I'm kind of buying these games, and I don't really care about playing them. And to me, that is a big problem, because when you're just buying games to collect, I find that kind of weird. I've never been the biggest fan of those channels that feature people who only collect games to kind of show in the background of, you know, wherever they play and whatnot. It's never done a lot for me. You know, those game room tours that people salivate over, where they're like, oh, check out my 10,000 game filled room, and it's just like, yeah, it's cool, man, but like, I don't know. For me, it just it feels a little inauthentic, I guess is a way to put it. I'm not really feeling the game room tour stuff, and it kind of bothers me a little bit. And with the Switch stuff, the limited run stuff, I was buying games that I didn't really care about. I was buying games I didn't really want to play, and it was turning into, you know, I'm just collecting these, I'm buying them, you know, I'll pop them in the Switch, play 5 minutes of them, and then put them away in the collection. And to me, that just seems, I don't know, kind of wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, if you collect video games out there and it brings you hope, it brings you pleasure, I'm very happy. But for me, it just is a strange thing. It's just something that is not working for me. Like I said, if it works for you, I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you can live your life collecting these things and they bring you joy. But for me, it's not bringing me joy. I had this big tub of games over behind my stairs in storage, and I was just looking at it like, I have not touched any of these games in years. It has been a very long time. So for me, it's kind of like, why do I even have these then? If I'm never going to touch them, what am I going to open it up like once every 5 years, look at them, go, oh yeah, this game was fun when I last played it, but it was like, I last played it 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 10, 12 years ago, and it's like, I don't know. Now, I don't want you guys to think I'm getting crazy with this either. I just felt like with the current iteration of Switch games, like it was almost like I'm kind of like hitting rock bottom like a junkie, you know what I mean? Like, you know how someone goes to rehab and they tell their story, they're just like, I just knew when I opened that game tub and I saw 200 games in there that I just had hit rock bottom. And that's kind of how I felt. I'm just like, these are just sitting here, they're not doing anything. I don't know. So I'm actually selling these on eBay, and to be quite honest, I talked about this on the QuakeCast, which is a podcast that I do with my buddy Dump Truck, and you know, we had actually a long conversation about this, and I've had a couple people PM me on Discord, and they were like, dude, do not sell your games, you'll regret it. But to be quite honest, I didn't talk about it last year, but I had a pretty large Vita game collection. I probably had like 80 games with the system, and it was in the same boat. It was like, I'm buying all these Vita games, and I'll play them for 5 minutes, put them away, and I'm just like, why am I doing this? So I sold the whole Vita collection, and it's probably been about a year, maybe a little over a year that I did that, and I have absolutely no... I have no longing for those games. No part of me is like, man, I wish I would have kept my Vita. No, I don't feel that way at all. And having these limited run games be sold, and these other games for Switch that I bought that I know I'm not going to play get sold, it doesn't bother me. So actually from this point on, what I'm doing is I'm pretty much only going to be participating with Steam and the Switch in a digital way. Whoa, and before we get too crazy here, guys, I just want to let you know, don't worry, I'm not selling everything I got. This is mostly like 3DS, Switch games, you know, that kind of stuff. It's more contemporary stuff. My NES games and system that I grew up with, my Sega Genesis that I grew up with, these are things that I'm going to be holding on to because they have sentimental value. So please, don't cry for me, Argentina. Everything's okay. I'm going to be holding on to the glorious stuff. But I do want to reiterate, I appreciate everybody's concern. I'm glad that you PM me on Discord and everything and told me, hey, think twice about this, and I appreciate that. I really do. But this is just something I feel like is important. But I do want to show you guys some of the stuff that I am selling. Welcome to my mess of boxes. That's right. I have tubs and packing boxes and stuff. As I've already told you in the video, I am selling all of my video games here, and this is just I would say this is probably half of what I'm selling. I've already shipped out 20 games, but as you can see, like, I got all kinds of 3DS games, I've got Wii U games, I got Wii games in here, and a whole mess of Switch games, and these were kind of the culprit, actually. These super rare games, and let's see, yeah, and these limited run games. I got to the point where I just was like, I'm going down a rabbit hole with these games here, and I'm not even really enjoying most of these games that I'm ordering. So I am just going to go ahead and sell these things, and it's been working out pretty well. I have all these boxes here that I'm using to ship the bigger collector's editions that I have, like this guy here, the Octopath Traveler Wayfarer's edition. I got that last year. I think it's a great special edition, but I don't need it. I don't really need all this stuff, guys. Like my friend Dump Truck said, I guess it's just like old age, me getting older and not wanting to deal with all the clutter. But as you can see, like I said, I've got tubs of stuff here too. One of these tubs contains even more games. I don't remember. It might be this one here. We can get a peek in there. Yeah, you can barely see because it's dark in there, but that's just like another tub full of games. And I got another whole line of 3DS and Switch games up over there on my shelf. So, oh yeah, and don't mind the creature here. It's a mask that I got for Christmas, which I think is pretty sweet. He's just going to hang there on the microphone stand. But yeah, I just got to a point, guys, where I'm like, man, I don't know that I can keep all of this stuff anymore. And I'm glad that I'm getting rid of it. Now, there are some really cool games in here, though, too, some that I didn't even get around to playing yet. This one here was one I always wanted to check out and just never got around to, but it's called Cursed Mountain on the Wii. This is actually like a limited edition steelbook cover here, which is pretty cool. And I heard the game is not all that great, but it's a horror game where you actually are, I guess, climbing up this haunted mountain, and you encounter a lot of crazy monsters and that kind of stuff along the way. Always sounded cool to me, wanted to play it, never got around to it. I also have on 3DS, I have a lot of great games on 3DS. I have the whole Fire Emblem series on 3DS. So there's Awakening, here's Fire Emblem Fates Birthright, there's Echoes, and there is Conquest. These are great strategy games on the 3DS. The funny thing is, I like Fire Emblem, but I don't seem to ever get through the games. I don't know why. I always play about half of them, and then I just quit. Yeah, some of these games are still wrapped, too, like Lego Batman 2, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, Resident Evil Revelations. These are all still brand new wrapped games.
that I haven't even touched. Guys, I have such a problem. I don't even own an Xbox One, but this was so cheap. I have a copy of Sunset Overdrive that I got because I was like, yeah, maybe I'll get an Xbox One in the future. But it's just like, yeah, I got a problem. I got a problem buying games. I had to stop. I'm back here in the scary part of my basement. Now, I'm not trying to brag on this stuff, guys, because if I did, I'd have this stuff displayed and I'd do my 2019 game room tour, you know, type of thing. But it's not really my thing. But I wanted to show you my really large collection of N64 games over here. I have, I think, 70-something games in that little tub with the system. There's a lot of games in there. The N64 games are probably games I'm not going to get rid of. This box right here, you can actually see through the box right here, that is a GameCube box. But this box right here is completely full of GameCube games, and I think I have the same amount of GameCube games I have N64 games. I think it's... Actually, no, I apologize. I started collecting more a couple years ago. I believe I have over 100 GameCube games, and those I'm still deciding what I want to do with, because GameCube is my favorite system. I even have like a in-box, you know, DDR version of the Mario, you know, DDR game that came out that I think is somewhat rare to find. Okay, now in this green tub that's down over here by the GameCube stuff and everything, you can see in here that there's a ton of SNES and regular NES games, which is pretty cool. I still love those systems. They're the games I grew up playing. A few of them are new ones that I found on the cheap at certain game stores and that kind of thing. But like I said, you know, it's not bragging to show this stuff off. This is more like, hey, just wanted to show you guys what else I had that I'm actually holding on to, because it's stuff that I like to break out every now and then and play. And this area has sort of become my, you know, my crappy little shipping area here. You can see it's just like, I'll actually be using every single one of those envelopes there. For those of you who are going to start doing eBay, make sure you hold on to your envelopes, because you're going to end up reselling that, using those for your resells. Ah, it's the Gill Man! No, I'm just kidding. We're back in my room here. I just want to show off, you know, like, here's my GameCube backpack that I bought several years ago, which I think is a really cool carry case and everything. Not sure if I'm going to hold on to it. Don't know that I need it. But in this box, like I was talking about earlier, I do have all kinds of Wii and GameCube stuff in here as well. So, for example, there's the Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix, and that is pretty cool. I don't know how much that is selling for on eBay. I'm going to research it and see if it's even worth shipping out or not. And I'm still debating what to do with my GameCube collection, because I love it.
Well, there you go. There's a little look at my collection there, and, you know, well, soon to be not collection, I guess, because I'm selling it. But, guys, like I said, I appreciate the concern. Please don't feel bad for me. I feel like this is a great moment for me. And I feel like it's kind of a moment of growing up for me, too. I had a moment the other day where I was playing my Switch. I was playing it digitally, because a lot of my games were already replaced on there digitally. And I was playing a little bit of the new Mario Brothers U game, and I shut it down, and I was like, what else do I want to play? And I went over to Mario Kart, and I played, you know, through a Grand Prix round of Mario Kart, and I was like, what else do I want to play? And I went over to Samsara, which is this other puzzle game that I've been playing lately that I did a video for recently, and played a couple puzzles of that. And I was just sitting there like, dude, this is the way to go. It's like I could shut a game down, go to the next game, shut a game down, go to the next game, don't have to fiddle with cartridges, and those cartridges are like this big anyway, so I'll probably lose them. I just feel really good about this right now. There you go, everybody. That's a quick update for you on what's going on with me. Just figured I'd share, just in case anybody out there has been sort of thinking about this as well. Does anybody else out there have a large video game collection that they're not sure about what they're going to do with, or maybe they've been thinking about selling it as well? I don't know. Get back with me and let me know in the comments. Well, there you go, everybody. Just sort of what's been going on with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
GRC.